All right. A very pleasant good afternoon to the entire world. A very pleasant good afternoon to Belize. A very pleasant good afternoon to anybody that's listening or watching our program. The Belize Travel Cast is back again. Well, today I'd like to reintroduce myself. I'm your host, Francisco Javier Gutierrez, and we are going to be talking about a project called The Impact of the Belizing Tourism Innovation Lab project on tourism stakeholders in the tourism industry in Belize. I have a very, very interesting guest today. Her name is Kathya Castaneda. I'm going to be calling her Kathy today. Yeah. And to give you a little bit of who she is and what she does, the Stakeholder Engagement Consultant for the Belizing Tourism Innovation Lab, BTIL Project. And this is to explore its impact on Belize's tourism industry and stakeholders. The discussion today will cover the project's key features, stakeholder benefits, and the integration of artificial intelligence, highlighting how these initiatives have transformed tourism operations in Belize. Kathy will share insights on the project's challenges and successes, emphasizing its lasting influence on the tourism sector, of course. This episode concludes with a call to action for tourism professionals to leverage the project's innovations for future growth. So it's a very, very important, it's very interesting for the entire world to know that Belize is moving forward with these initiatives, especially in the tourism industry. Kathy, good evening to you.
Hello, good to see you.
All right,
good to be
very,
here.
Very good to have you here, using our microphones as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin with our show.
Sure.
Kathy, let's talk a little bit about, let's have a little discussion on the project's background first of all. Give me a little bit about the background, if you can.
It is a project that was written by the Mendoza brothers, who are the
Brilliant. I forgot to mention them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's a set of two brothers that dreamt up this post-COVID interaction and so the IDB had these funds available. So they came on board and they were like, hey, you know what? We have a great idea for the tourism sector. Something that we believe we can pull off. They wrote a proposal. They got that funding.
Yes,
and
I know, man.
This is what we got here today. Yeah. But I mean, from there to now, there's a whole journey that has taken place, and a lot of people have involved in that particular journey. And when we speak of artificial intelligence and digital marketing, we always think foreign and, it happened in the States and it happened somewhere else. But it's actually happening right here in Belize with Belizean professionals carrying these types of projects.
Yeah, tell me, that's interesting. The artificial intelligence, it sounds menacing almost, to me, because I don't know anything about it. You're going to unveil this, but what are the objectives of this project?
Well, the project set out to take the tourism sector to a next level. It is post-COVID. We realized that there was a lot of emphasis on digital work, computer work, having the internet be the biggest tool that stakeholders in the tourism sector could use. But then we realized that we weren't tapping into its full potential. There was a lot that was left to be done. A lot of people were left on the wayside because they didn't know how to handle that. They could handle the hustling side of it in person, cruise ships and that sort of thing. But when it comes to digital marketing and getting your name out there on the internet through social media platforms or websites, there was a lot of work that they needed to learn. So there was a huge gap.
That's a problem, right?
Yes, it was
marketing you're talking about overall to the world.
To the world, because as Belizeans, there was only so much touristing we could have done back then. And even now, we're just starting to shake off the economic and financial struggles that we had during that time. Yeah. So we rely on the foreign and our international tourists.
How much will this help the businesses, the companies involved in tourism, especially after they had lost all the finances and all the momentum
and the footwork,
marketing momentum? How will this help them?
So Belizing, when it was written originally, the project was the BTIL. When it was written originally, the original target was 1,000 small and medium tourism enterprises, right? So we're talking not only hotels and resorts and bed and breakfasts, but we're talking tour operators, gift stores, and other artisans. So when they did that, and Let's Go Belizing being the main factor moving
Correct.
They realized that, hey, you know what? We have a strong network of people that we already work with. We could tap into that and see how we can help them step out of this muckiness that COVID created. So that was the original target.
So while we were suffering this, Abner and Sandino,
They're
We're
working.
thinking.
They're thinking, how can we fill that gap,
Yeah.
that digital gap that's obviously there.
Yeah.
And there were other entities that were trying to do it at the time, but if you don't have a foot already in the tourism industry, it's a steep curve that you would have to work with. But these guys already had a system that was
Scale innovation.
and so you're like, okay, we already have this. Let's tap into that and see how we could work with that.
Yeah.
So from the 1,000, it just went targeting, filtering through that, and then identifying a number of small and medium enterprises, SMEs.
How is Belize responding to this?
Well, it's strange because it's something that was free. We're reaching out to you. A call was put out, 300, and then that went down to 75, and then that was filtered down to about 26, I think was the final number of beneficiaries that worked directly with the project.
Wait, you began calling.
Yeah, so a call was
So
sent
some
out.
people didn't take the offer.
Yeah, they didn't take the offer.
Yeah, what the heck's going on? We don't
And
know what's
again,
this.
it shows who's checking their emails, who's answering their WhatsApp.
Some are indifferent, I'm very certain.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the overreaching impact on the tourism stakeholders and the industry overall. We just spoke a little bit about it, but take us there. How is this affecting? How is this benefiting? How is this responding?
All right. So the project set out with some very direct targets and some very direct deliverables. So one of the things that they realized very early on is that there is a gap in digital marketing specifically, but we can't just go out and digitally market for all the companies out there. You either give them a fish or you teach them to fish. So in this case, they went, let's teach them how to fish. Let's teach them about digital marketing so that they can do their own work.
So let's explore the key features and the benefits that you're doing now. Tell us a little bit about that.
So they went from scratch. They got on board a consultant that helped them develop a curriculum for a digital marketing course. So another local professional came on board with a vast education experience in education. She came on board and she helped develop. So she had her own stakeholder engagement process that went through.
What's her name?
Her name is Tashira Swift.
So she's a member of your staff.
Yes, so she was a consultant on the project.
Okay,
so
very
they're like different consultants
Correct.
that come on at different times.
Correct.
So Tashira came on, and with the help of the Belizing team, she touched base with all the tertiary level institutions, with the IT vets and all these people that may be offering a course similar to what was envisioned. And then she designed a course for digital marketing.
Oh, she did.
She did. It's a Belizeanized, where we're saying digital marketing course, with Belizean examples, Belizean language. It's not, a European or a North American delivering, but and then they facilitated and recorded. They recorded and facilitated locally as well. So we have Angela again, Superwoman Angela, and then another facilitator, Shani Salazar. They both facilitated. So they are the faces and the voices that you see in the course.
You know what makes me happy that you're saying this is that this shows Belize, it shows the world that the Belizean population has enough people to create their own.
Yes.
We have prepared people, academically.
Yeah.
We have people that have the skills to write.
Yeah.
And to teach.
And to teach. And the thing is that a lot of the times, I think even our educators, they always be like, you could hire somebody to do that. But I think they are just so locked into I only facilitate within the classroom that they do not see their capacity to go beyond.
Well, training is different than teaching.
Yes.
Let's just, draw that little
it
line.
is.
And I guess maybe that's why they feel a little bit, nervous on that end. But training, including adults, it's not as
It's
easy to
very
teach
different.
adults and to hold that concentration amongst adults.
Yeah.
It's hard too.
And then there's some egos that you need to deal with when you're doing that.
Say
But that's
again,
another
yeah.
conversation.
My degrees and my, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, totally. So,
Who are you to tell me?
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, I need to know, or the world needs to know about what type of feedback are you getting and the specific successes. Tell us about the specific successes, the feedback and the successes, from the initiatives like the basic digital marketing e-course that you're talking about.
So that particular course, after it was designed, recorded, facilitated, produced in-house, it was piloted. So again, we went back to those 26 beneficiaries and we said, hey, you know what? We're offering you this free course. All you need to do is run through the entire course and then come back and tell us what you think.
Yeah.
So of the 26, 11 of them went through the entire course. So they had, I think, a period of, I would say maybe a month and a half to run through it at their pace, at their convenience. And we brought them back. I remember I had just come on board then when we had our feedback session with them. Yeah. And they just, because of the engagement that had taken place before with the consultants, they were very comfortable. We sat in Belmopan and they told us, all right, you see this video and the way this is presented. So they give us really good feedback on how the course progressed. Yeah. And then Belizing and the consultants took that and tweaked.
I want you to give me the names of, you don't maybe have to mention a name if it's confidential, but maybe you can mention the business or what type of business it was and to measure what we mean about success amongst this.
Yeah, so then we had everyone from tour operators to small bed and breakfast to resorts already established in the industry. We have mom and pop. Gift stores from down south. Yes. So it's a wide array of actors within the tourism sector.
And the big resorts?
Big, you see, and that's the thing we have to define big because this was specifically targeted for small and medium.
Oh, all right, I got you. No, it's good. You're educating me here, Kathya. You are.
No problem.
All right, so it is for the little businesses now. And again, let's measure that success. What are you saying?
So a lot of the time when after they finish their course, and then there's another factor to the project that led them down a different path than their other beneficiaries, is that they started realizing that they weren't using Facebook to its full potential. Yeah. They weren't using their other social media platforms to their full potential. There's a lot more that businesses can access through these platforms. Some of them recognize the importance of having a website or at least a landing page for foreign tourists and foreign clients. So with that, they said, okay, it was eye-opening to them. And then the second part or another part of the project was a digital integration plan. Yeah. How will you integrate the entire digital world into your business plan? Right. So then we had another consultant come on board to work with them directly. And that was Shanice Salazar. She came on board and she just sat with these companies. She spent countless hours sitting with them like, all right, what are your goals for your business for the next year? How are we going to do that with what you have available and what you can actually access? Because a lot of times we realize or we think we can't access a lot when we have all the tools that we need right in front of us. So she kind of walked them through that process. And a lot of them have been saying to us like, hey, you know what? It's opened my eyes that I can reach foreign clients or customers. It's not only about, the when low season I'm targeting my local Belizeans, but we can target our foreign customers too, and they could see what's happening here and contact us directly, not have to do it through other platforms.
Well, let me tell you, I think personally with what you're telling me, I think that Belizing along with your project is definitely influencing and is a big part of the success of this boom that we have in tourism presently. I think this is one of the few times that tourism has boomed this much.
It's incredible. And it would be interesting to measure. And I think that is part of some of the work that's being done right now in terms of the monitoring and evaluation of the project. And even when IDB comes back and they do, use their metrics, they will be able to measure exactly, with these particular 26 businesses, exactly what the impact was. Because we're just seeing it. We're in the middle of the tourism season right now. And it's the first season post all the trainings and everything that's taken place. So it would be interesting to look at those metrics.
Well, Kathya, what I want to become is a very known influencer, Belizean influencer. And I think I have to deal with you, to put me on track. I think that Belizing is the right
Well, Belizing is the place because they have all the professionals available to help with that.
I see that. Well, ladies and gentlemen around the world, this is the Belize Travelcast. Once again, Javier Gutierrez along with Kathya Castaneda. And that is our first part of this episode. In just a little bit, we're going to be taking a little break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the innovation through artificial intelligence and future directions. We'll be back.
Are you ready to transform your business with the power of digital marketing? Join our digital marketing bootcamp designed specifically for the Belize market. Learn the fundamentals, from social media to SEO, and tailor strategies to your audience. Start your learning journey at training.belizedigitalmedia.com and boost your online presence today.
All right, we're back once again, the Belize Travel Cast, and I'm with Kathya Castaneda. We're going to go right into segment 2. But Kathya, let me begin by asking you, is this pilot project, the first of its kind in Belize?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. And the title pilot project, it's not part of the actual project title, but it is a pilot project. It's the first of its kind, especially when we're looking at the digital marketing course, which was made locally, and then the AI dashboard. These are things that Belizing and the Mendoza brothers have been pioneering. So it is the first of its kind. From what I see, there's a lot of discussion and other projects coming on board at the national level, but Belizing's is the first.
Yeah, well, also tell me, because why it's very beneficial is because I do understand that it did encompass businesses that were truthfully insignificant in the marketing world, isn't that so?
Yes. So it was taking these virtually unknown businesses that did not have a digital footprint and opening the doors to them to the digital world and saying, hey,
now they have several footprints.
They have several footprints, and they're doing it
totally
for themselves.
So. Let's talk a little bit about the innovation through artificial intelligence and the future directions. First of all, let's dive into the incorporation of AI, that's in artificial intelligence, in the BTIL project and its benefits for the tourism industry overall.
Sure. So another section of the project is the development of an AI dashboard. So the dashboard serves to two things. One, to collect data sets from tourism sector actors, and for it to be accessed by local Belizeans or even foreigners to see trends, to track a lot of the predictions that could take place. So because we have all these data sets, they would be able to predict, all right, what are some of the more attractive tourist sites? What are some of the activities that tourists are looking for based on the data that has been gathered from 2024, 23, 22.
So all that you do?
Well, all that is actually it's starting to become available on the dashboard. So right now, in the final leg of the project, we're looking at signing data sharing agreements with different sectors, with different actors within the sector, so that we could furnish the dashboard. So the more data we have on the dashboard, the better the predictions could be.
So you can tell us which site is used more than others?
Yes, we could do that right now.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you were doing through
like which districts are more visited by tourists, what time of the year is better for certain districts and certain sites.
Wow.
That sort of thing is on there.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's impressive. And how close do you work with the BTB? Do you?
So the BTB has been one of the partners,
and that's a Belize Tourism Board.
Belize Tourism Board,
yeah,
yes.
Correct.
So they've been one of the partners that came on board very early on because of the type of work that's been taking place, and their data sets is actually some of the first ones that have been uploaded to the dashboard. So yes, you could access BTB's data sets, but also the AI dashboard would throw it out with more specific targets.
Yeah. So you're giving much more specific information than...
because then you're incorporating other information that's coming in from the ground.
Yeah.
So it's not only BTB might have a summarized...
Yeah. They can tell you how much people came in through the cruise ships and that type of thing.
And then we could see, all right, where are these...
You hone it down.
Yeah. The more data sets we could get on there, the better the information would be. And but that's been one of the challenges that we've had is getting these data sets from the actors in the tourism sector. Because information, we always say information is power. So, like, where you want my information from? And why is it important to you? So it's a lot of communication, a lot of marketing and education that needs to take place with these entities. And
so you have opened it for everybody to know.
Well,
it's not only hiding it.
It's not only hiding
as a power. So my business knows, but yours don't.
So it has to be an agreement between the two entities.
Yeah.
So, but for right now, because it is a pilot project, I believe Belizing is interested in specific types of information just to see how the dashboard would respond to that. And then later on, hopefully, it's something that can grow to exactly what we need it to be.
Let's discuss a little bit about how has the transformation in tourism, the operations, right? and stakeholder success. Let's highlight the AI's role into the success.
Well,
How has it contributed? We just spoke a little bit
yeah,
about
so,
it.
so
But
that's what we're looking at, because then these same entities, well, the same
sometimes just repeat
beneficiaries,
things, right?
yeah. So the same beneficiaries that are on the ground now that we worked with, they would be able to tap into the AI dashboard and see, all right, how does my business fit into the trends? Am I on trend? If I'm not on trend, then what do I need to do to get there? How can my digital footprint and digital presence take me there? So once they have an idea of what's happening at the national level or even the regional level, then they will be able to say, okay, you know what? Yes, I want to be part of that race. Or no, I'm going to stick to my niche instead and just promote and market that particular aspect.
Definitely so.
Yeah. So for them, it's okay having this information at their fingertips, literally, and for them to be able to analyze that information and use it to their benefit.
Yeah.
So if they're not doing that, then they're just sticking to the usual day-to-day, the way they've usually done things, and then just crossing their fingers and hoping for the best, or using scientific data and using that to drive their businesses forward. So it's a beautiful merge of science and technology and business management.
But tell me something. How can an entity use scientific data to grow? What would they do if they read the data and they see X amount of people coming in? How can they grow? What would they do?
Well, and a lot of that has to do with the digital integration plan that they have in their hands already. So we had an amazing consultant on board with the team, and she came on board to create digital integration plans for them.
Yeah.
And a part of that is actually looking at the data that they receive. We were calling insights, everything from off their platforms, and seeing what is happening on their platforms and what is happening on the national and regional levels.
Are you affecting tour guides yet? Is there a tour guide involved or guides involved?
The tour operators, tour guides, we've done it indirectly through some of the BTIAs.
Correct.
Just letting them know that this digital, like for the digital marketing course, that is something that's open to the public.
Okay.
Anyone who signs up and opens an account
Can do it.
can do it. And right now it's free, and I understand it was supposed to be free up to the end of the project, which is May, but it seems that it will go on till the end of the calendar year, so
Nice.
2024.
Nice.
So and you get a little certificate at the end, and it's open for anyone. I personally shared it to some tour guides that I know, and it's not only like resorts and those tour operators, but also rangers at the protected areas, because they
Nice.
do
Yeah.
like when you think like Five Blues Lake or you think of some of the other community-based community managed protected areas, they would benefit a lot from a digital marketing because they have to do their own marketing.
Of course.
You can depend on a Palm or Belize Audubon and those to do your marketing. But if you could do it on your own, then by all means. So that was one of the stakeholder groups that we identified when I came on.
Yeah.
And that comes from my experience from the previous work that I'd done, because I know what all rangers are.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now we're almost coming to an end, Kathya, right?
It's been so fast.
We've spoken a lot about it, but let's talk a little bit about innovation in tourism and what's the future going to be. We're talking about this growth in tourism because of this artificial intelligence and all this type of thing. Pretty soon, I believe it's going to be robots, or I don't know what
I hope
else.
not.
I'm just asking, where are we going next? This thing is just flying up, man. It's improving, it's growing. Where else? What else?
Yeah, well, anything is possible at this point. If you have something as wonderful as artificial intelligence, anything is possible. I think a lot of people are a bit scared of it because they think it would replace the humanness in the tourism sector.
Yeah.
But I think it could only enhance and improve the quality of what we're already offering.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with the knowledge of the digital world and the digital footprint and the digital presence that we can all have.
It's innovation in tourism.
Because there's an entire world at our fingertips, but if we don't know how to access it in a very efficient manner, in a very even aggressive manner, because marketing online has to be very aggressive but very strategic as well.
Yeah.
The more we're stepping into those arenas, the wider our net is cast. And we're not relying only on North American and only a sector of European, but the rest of the world is here for us to tap into.
Yeah.
And this is only opening the doors for that. For little Belize to step out there and say, Simea, I'm here. I have a lot to offer and to show what we have to offer. Because a lot of the times I think we limit ourselves to just little, snippets of it when the world needs to see everything
Totally
that we
so.
have. Yeah.
And I think you dove right into what I was going to ask you next, or, for you to say something to encourage the industry, the professionals in the industry to engage with the project's resources. I still will give you that opportunity to say that.
Thank you. Yes. So like I had mentioned before, the digital marketing course is available for free. And then the AI dashboard as well could also be accessed via Let's Go Belizing, and then they would take you to a landing page to be able to access that platform. And again, that's you just register an account, and then you're able to access information on there and, tinker around with it. For now, at least, it's open and accessible. And we're encouraging everyone in the tourism sector and even, any other small business that would see the benefit in it to go ahead and take on the challenge.
It's been a pleasure to speak with Kathya Castaneda. Kathy, any last words before I close off this wonderful talk that I've had with you?
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and the project in itself, there's so much value in it and there's so much richness in it. And definitely, like you said, what stands out is that it is Belizean professionals driving
Totally.
this.
But you're proud to have done what you did, right?
Yes, of course. To be surrounded by a small group of really dedicated professionals, young and old, because that was one of the experiences, that it's a lot of young minds driving and young people with really good skills driving these types of projects forward. And then the older heads, we come on board and just, all right, let's...
A lot of passion, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Kathya Castaneda. Don't forget, Kathya is the Stakeholder Engagement Consultant for the Belizing Tourism Innovation Lab, BTIL Project. And we had a very interesting conversation with Kathya overall. We spoke about the overview and the impact of the BTIL project. We also spoke about the innovation through artificial intelligence and future directions. And I'm very certain that this is going to be very positive for small entities throughout Belize, so that the entire world gets to know who they are. And if the world knows that, then of course, as people come into this country, they improve their lifestyles. And also, Belize is known for the good and for the professionalism that we hold within our industry. All right, so for the Belize Travelcast, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, as I said before. My name is Javier Gutierrez. See you soon. All right, so thank you for listening to this episode of the Belize Travelcast. Please rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. For more information about today's show, please visit BelizeTravelcast.com. The Belize Travelcast is a production of Belizing.com and Belize Digital Media.